Hello, everybody, and welcome to SparkofVintage. My name is Cindy, and I'm so delighted that you're here for the unveiling of the May DIY Makers Box. My primary focus in the box this month was to challenge myself by using Sweet Pickins Milk Paint in Artichoke. I had not used the milk paint samples yet, so this was a great learning experience and an opportunity for me to challenge myself. This archway has been in my stash for quite a while, and I wanted this to be the first thing I tried the milk paint on. I thrifted this archway at the Goodwill bins, and there was already some residue of a very cool kind of blue color on the archway that I didn't want to take off. I wanted to see if the milk paint would take with the wood and also leave a little bit of that layer of blue underneath when it started to chip away. Milk paint requires a little bit of consistency of a melted milkshake. So as I stirred my mixture and really started to look at the consistency, I felt like it was the right way. It was time to experiment. Like I said, this is the first time I've tried it, and I was really happy with the coverage and the vibrancy of the colors that came with the milk paint. I think I expected them to be a little duller, so I was really happy to see that vibrant green color. I gave the milk paint about 4 hours to dry, and then I rubbed it lightly with a soft brush, and I was so excited to see all the chippiness I had hoped it would be. The paint did slightly dull a little as it was drying, but once I applied Finnabar's clear finishing wax, that color popped right up and it gave it a great protection. Avocado is such a beautiful milk paint color, and that blue just popped with it. It was everything I had hoped it would be. But once I got it outside and put it in the wooded area, it almost like was camouflaged. So I had to put it up against the side of my house so you could see all the color. I found these two decorative ceramic discs from Southern Living Home on a thrifting trip in South Carolina. I applied the avocado milk paint to both of these discs as well, hoping that all of my chippy goodness dreams would come true. Well, it didn't go as I had planned. I had really inconsistent results on these two pieces. Too much and not enough chippy goodness. But what I did learn in my research is there is something called Extra Bond from Sweet Pickins that I could have applied to the discs that would have helped me fight against that varnish that was already on them, and I would have gotten much better results. Lesson learned. I found these two bird frames at my local Honey Hole thrift store, and I wanted to try the milk paint experiment one more time on both of these. Even though these frames had a chippy look to them already, I never cared for the steel gray color as the predominant color. So I whipped out that avocado milk paint and tried again, and I was very pleased to see how well it had adhered to the frames, given that there was already a coated surface on them. I gave the frames about 4 hours to dry as well. And even though they didn't chip super, some of that gray underneath still popped out. And I cared for it, but I decided to experiment with DIY's dark wax to see if I could deepen the color a little bit. And I was really happy with the results. I decided to give it a little touch of shine by adding Finnabar's aged bronze metallic wax to the birds and around the frame of where the picture would go. It was a bit of a dreary day when I was making my project, so I had to film inside. So the colors look a little dull, but they pop so much more in person. I also wanted to share that I used Roycycled Decoupage Paper in the floral medley masterboard to create the picture inserts for these frames. One of our paints of the month in the DIY Makers box was Sandy Blonde from DIY. I really loved this color and it went on so smooth and gave great coverage. I always envisioned this galvanized bucket would be out in the garden as a planter, and once I saw the painted photographer's rice paper nestled in time, I knew it would be a perfect companion. I also accented the piece with Woodwick from Fusion Paint. I wanted a more rustic finish to the bird's nest, so I didn't cut it with scissors and create a fine line, but instead used the water technique where you wet the paper and pull away at the fibers. Painting the back of the rice paper allows all of those colors to pop. A painted background creates almost like a barrier that keeps your decoupage paper from getting absorbed into your background. Roycycled's floral medley masterboard paper was the perfect background for a galvanized canister with a lid that I had found on my thrifting adventures. I primed the canister with DIY's White Swan. Another of our Maker's Box colors is Prom Queen from DIY Paint. I love this gentle blue and it matches the decoupage papers perfectly. Well, I managed to turn the camera off instead of on while I applied the decoupage paper, but I had torn it into 3 separate pieces. I wanted the cracks and all of the bumps of the decoupage paper because I had gone over it with a fine sandpaper after it dried, and that created some bumps so that I could use distressed crayon in order to antique it and make it look really aged and old and cracked. So not only did it create a tea stain effect on the decoupage paper, but I also decided to tone that blue down just a little bit on the lid. So I applied the distressed crayon to the lid, added quite a bit of water to water it down, and that created just a nice layer of distressing and making it look like it matched the canister better. This piece was originally pitch black with white lettering, but I used my sander to grind it down to prep it for the next project. I wanted a nice gentle background piece to use for finials and some of my photography when I photograph items for Whatnot. So a garden wakes by the painted photographer was the perfect rice paper for that piece. I used liquid patina from DIY to apply the rice paper to the wood. I did a little paint blending to match Connie's piece the best I could. Because the Maker's Box is so perfectly curated with all of the matching colors, it was really easy for me to extend those borders where the rice paper didn't quite meet the edges. And in addition to that, I used these beautiful butterfly transfers from IOD's collection, Millow's Pages, and I thought they added a nice pop of color and dimension to the piece. Our final project today is this beautiful, intricate frame that I've had in my stash for quite a while. I thrifted it at the Goodwill bins. It had no backing, no glass, but I love the texture on it. These beautiful faux book covers were featured in Roycycled's Decoupage Paper, La Fleur de Guide. I painted the frame completely with Fusion Mineral Paint in Chalet. Chalet has a little bit of a green undertone to it, so it was a perfect match for Roycycled's papers. And in addition to that, I used Finnabar's aged brass metallic wax to finish off all of the edges. Well, that's a wrap for the May Makers Box. You can subscribe to your own Makers Box at sonnetsgardenblooms.com. Thank you for joining us at SparkofVintage, and we'll see you next week.